Karma just got delivered to an evil woman close to you. In broad daylight, she was slapped by. My beloved, stay right here. Don't skip a single word, because what I'm about to reveal isn't just gossip or rumor, it's a real-life consequence finally catching up to someone who thought they were above it all. This isn't a warning, and it's not a message dressed in threat. This is a moment you've been waiting for, whether you realized it or not. The energy around you has shifted. You may have felt it, something unsettling calming down, a silence that no longer felt dangerous. That's because a storm has already passed, and its wrath came down directly on the one woman who pretended for too long to be your friend. Her intentions were poisonous, her actions concealed behind a smiling mask, but that mask cracked wide open. It happened so fast, no one saw it coming, not even her. In the middle of the day, right when she thought she was untouchable, someone stepped forward and exposed her for exactly what she is. A voice, loud and commanding, cut through the noise of the street and called her out by name, and people turned to look. The woman froze. Her face drained of color. She tried to defend herself, but she knew, deep down, this was her reckoning. She had wronged too many people, spoken evil behind too many backs, and this time, she picked the wrong person to mess with. What she never expected was who slapped her. Not physically at first, but verbally, emotionally, energetically. The woman she tried to destroy stood there, unafraid, with fire in her eyes and truth on her lips. And when her voice rose to the heavens, the air around them tightened like a storm cloud holding lightning. Then came the slap, not from a stranger, not from a passerby, but from someone shockingly close. Someone she used to control. Someone she never imagined would ever turn against her. The man she manipulated for months finally saw the truth. He didn't hit her to hurt her. It wasn't about violence, it was about awakening. A moment so loud, so public, and so undeniable that it stripped every layer of falsehood she had built around herself. Her lies. Her schemes. Her whispered betrayals. The entire crowd stood in silence. No one intervened. No one defended her. Because in that moment, everyone remembered something she had done. Something cruel. Something disgusting. And she was finally exposed. For so long, she got away with everything. She acted like she was untouchable, like the rules didn't apply to her. She twisted stories, sabotaged relationships, and celebrated your pain behind your back. But karma doesn't always knock gently, it slams doors in broad daylight. You may wonder why it took so long. You may wonder if the universe had gone deaf to your cries. But no, the universe was simply waiting for the perfect moment. A moment not of revenge, but of truth. Of justice. Of balance. Now, her fake friendships are crumbling. Her secrets are leaking like broken pipes. Her once polished name is being whispered in tones of disgust, and she can't stop it anymore. She can't hide. Not anymore. She underestimated one thing, your strength. Your resilience. The quiet power you hold when you choose to walk away instead of fight. But the universe never forgot. It remembered everything she did. And now, she's finally reaping what she sowed. The same people she once convinced to turn against you are now turning against her. They've seen too much. They've realized too late. She's no longer the queen of the room, she's the warning. A reminder that manipulation may win for a moment, but truth wins forever. And the most haunting part? She knows you didn't lift a finger to bring this upon her. You didn't plan it. You didn't interfere. All you did was continue healing, growing, and rising above her darkness. And that made her lose control. Because deep down, she feared your strength more than she hated your presence. And when you walked away, you took her power with you. And what's left of her now? Only a broken illusion, standing in the aftermath of her own destruction. This is not your revenge story. This is your redemption arc. Her downfall is not your entertainment, it's your confirmation. That you were always right. That your intuition was accurate. That walking away was the most powerful thing you could have done. She's been left with no one. Even her closest ally, the one who blindly defended her, finally saw her without the mask. That's who slapped her truthfully. A moment of realization so sharp it felt like a physical hit. He didn't shout. He didn't curse. He just walked away with disgust in his eyes. Now, she's alone. Staring at herself in the mirror and seeing the monster she tried to make you out to be. She can't rewrite the story anymore. The script is set. The audience has turned, and her spotlight has vanished. And you? You're rising. Quietly. Calmly. With peace. With power. No need to respond to her chaos. Just watch. Just live. Just thrive. Because the most poetic justice of all is peace. Your peace. Your glow. Your forward motion. Now she's being watched. Not by you. But by everyone she once deceived. The very ones who clap for her now see her for what she really is. And that slow turn of energy? That silent shift in the room when she enters? It's louder than any scream. She can feel it, like cold air brushing her spine. She used to command attention. Now, she attracts whispers. Not the curious kind, but the kind that carry weight. Truths are floating through rooms where she once controlled the narrative. And no one is stopping them. The slap may have been seen by few, but its aftershock reached far. Word spread fast. Not just what happened, but why it happened. And in every version of the story, your name carries a strange kind of grace. You never fought back. You never stooped low. You just endured. And the universe noticed. Now, doors are closing for her. Not physical ones, but social ones. Emotional ones. People are pulling away, not because they hate her, but because they finally see her. And they no longer feel safe around that kind of hidden cruelty. That fake kindness she wore like perfume? It evaporated. She tried to laugh it off. Pretend nothing happened. But she could barely hold her voice steady. Even her smile trembled like paper in the wind. Because deep down, she knew, this wasn't just a one-time consequence. This was the beginning of a spiritual eviction. The darkness she threw at you for months is now flooding her own life. She tried to bury you in doubt, sabotage, and shame. But what she never expected was that the ground would shift beneath her own feet. Now she's slipping. Quietly. Slowly. In front of everyone. There are no enemies chasing her. No crowd demanding revenge. Only her own actions coming back like a reflection in shattered glass. And the sound of that slap echoes not on her skin, but in her soul. She feels it every time her name gets left off a guest list. Every time her calls go unanswered. Your silence is the loudest justice. You didn't expose her, her own behavior did. And that, my beloved, is what stings her the most. That you didn't need to lift a finger. Because destiny did it for you. She kept playing games, kept pulling strings, but the game ended. And she didn't even notice she was the only one still playing. The man who was once under her spell. He's done. He's no longer confused. No longer questioning your side of the story. Because he lived her version, and it nearly destroyed him. That slap wasn't just about betrayal, it was about breaking free. He stood there, looked her in the eyes, and said the words she feared the most, "I finally see you." That's when her entire world cracked. Not because he left, but because he saw through her. And nothing terrifies a manipulator more than exposure. She turned away quickly, hoping no one else heard it. But it was too late. The truth had already escaped. And no lie could pull it back. She had chances to stop. So many quiet warnings. So many moments where the universe asked her to let go of her jealousy, to choose better, to stop weaponizing your kindness. But she didn't listen. She called your peace boring. She called your strength fake. She called your growth luck. And now? She's learning what happens when grace is abused. The universe gave her time. But karma doesn't chase, it waits. And this time, it arrived wearing her own face, holding her own choices, and speaking in a voice she couldn't ignore. She's spiraling. Trying to hold on to fake friends, fake narratives, fake control, but everything is falling apart. Quietly. Elegantly. Just like the downfall she designed for you. Her silence is heavy now. She's not plotting anymore, she's surviving. Every room she enters feels colder. Every glance she receives feels sharper. Because she knows, they know. And you? You're walking lighter. Breathing deeper. Sleeping better. Because you didn't just survive her, you transcended her. She's sitting in silence now. Not the kind that heals, but the kind that haunts. Her thoughts race like 1,000 footsteps in a locked room. Because every lie she told is turning into an echo. And those echoes aren't quiet anymore. The voice that once manipulated others is now choking her. The same tongue that spread rumors about you is tasting the bitterness of isolation. Her fake charm can't save her anymore, because charm doesn't work when the truth is standing tall in front of it. And that truth is you. You, with your quiet strength. You, with your unbothered presence. You, who never needed to fight dirty to win the battle. People are watching her, not with curiosity, but with caution. They've seen her true colors now, and no amount of pretending can repaint the damage. She had a chance to own up, to apologize, to release the poison she carried, but instead, she held it tighter. And now, it's burning her from the inside. The same circles she once controlled are whispering behind her back. Not out of malice, but out of realization. They know now. They see it. The patterns. The games. The lies. One by one, they're pulling away. And she's noticing. She's calling, texting, reaching out, trying to act normal. But no one's buying it. The energy has shifted too far. Her words used to influence people. Now they bounce off walls and fall flat. Her charm expired. She doesn't know what to do with herself. She scrolls through her phone, hoping to feel relevant again. But all she sees is you rising. Quietly. Steadily. Without noise. Without revenge. Just elevation. And that kills her more than any confrontation ever could. Because she expected you to break. She wanted you to fall. But instead, you became untouchable. Now she's watching from the sidelines. And every win you receive, every moment of peace you live, reminds her that the war she started was the one she lost. She was so focused on destroying you, she didn't realize she was burying herself. Now, her world feels smaller. Her days feel heavier. And her nights? They're loud with thoughts she can't run from. Because when you play with energy you don't understand, it always comes back to collect. And karma? She never forgets an address. She's reaching out to people she once ignored. Sending messages to those she used to manipulate. And all of them have one thing in common, they're not replying like before. The spell is broken. The illusion is gone. She's forced to sit with her own reflection now. And it's not pretty. Because behind the makeup, the smiles, the staged pictures, there's a woman who thought she could control destiny. But destiny had a different plan. One where the truth wins. Where peace wins. Where you win. And her downfall? It's just the beginning of your rise. She kept your name in her mouth like a weapon. Now it trembles on her tongue like regret. You became everything she feared, strong, healed, and unreachable. Not because you ran from her, but because you outgrew her. Her darkness can't reach your light anymore. And the people who once doubted you? Now they're ashamed. Because they believed her. They questioned you. But the truth has a way of clearing the fog. And now they see you for what you are, resilient. Unshaken. And chosen. And guess what? The one person she never expected to turn on her, the one she thought would always believe her lies, is done with her now. He's not angry. He's disappointed. Because he finally looked back and saw the path of destruction she left behind. He saw the way she twisted stories. The way she blamed others. The way she used people as pawns. And he realized, you were never the problem. She was. That realization didn't just slap her, it shattered her. There's no applause for her anymore. No admiration. Only polite silence and cold glances. Her name used to be surrounded by respect. Now it's followed by hesitation. You've moved on. Quietly. Powerfully. She's stuck. Loudly. Pathetically. Because when you build your kingdom on lies, the foundation always crumbles. And she's sinking in the ruins of her own making. Now she's the example. The living reminder of what happens when you play with pure-hearted people like toys. Every corner she turns feels like a mirror. Every conversation sounds like judgment, even when no one's speaking. Because the truth doesn't need a microphone. It just needs time. And time has spoken. Loudly. Clearly. Without mercy. She doesn't post as much anymore. Doesn't show her face the way she used to. Because behind the filters and fake captions, there's a storm she can't hide from anymore. The chaos she once brought to your doorstep is now flooding hers. She always thought she was ahead. That her mask was perfect. That she could manipulate, twist, and walk away untouched. But no mask survives the heat of truth. And now, she's burning inside it. You don't have to speak a word. You don't have to throw shade. You don't even have to explain. Because her downfall is writing your vindication in bold, public letters. Everyone sees it. Even the ones who once doubted you. Even the ones who once sat at her table. They now realize they were clapping for a performance, while you were living with the scars. And the man she thought she owned? He's rebuilding his life, with the truth. He's not looking for drama. He's not looking for noise. He's just done pretending she's someone worth defending. He looked her in the eyes and said, "You don't deserve the peace you tried to steal." That line hit harder than any slap. Because it came from someone she thought she controlled. Someone she thought she would always have wrapped around her finger. But fingers lose grip when they're coated in lies. Now she's spiraling in silence. Her reputation is a slow-motion collapse. Her allies? Vanishing like smoke. She's searching for someone to blame. But the only person left in her mirror is herself. And she can't outrun that. Not anymore. She built her power by stepping on others. But what she didn't know was, when you climb using lies, you fall with truth. And the fall is always harder when the crowd is watching. You didn't expose her. You didn't ruin her. You didn't plan any of this. All you did was survive. And your survival shook her world to its core. Because real power never needs revenge. Real power is walking in peace while your enemies are haunted by their own reflection. So let her be. Let her sit in the silence she created. Let her taste the loneliness she wished on you. Let her feel the isolation she wrapped you in for months. Because the cycle is complete. The script has flipped. And the chapter has closed. Now it's your turn. To rise louder. To move freer. To live bigger. Because the weight of her lies is no longer yours to carry. Walk tall. Smile often. Stay grounded. Because the universe saw everything. And the justice you received wasn't loud, but it was legendary. Just when you thought it was over. When her downfall brought peace to your life. When everything felt calm and clear again. That's exactly when the next shadow stepped forward. It turns out, she wasn't acting alone. She was the face of the betrayal. But not the mastermind. Someone else was guiding her. Feeding her lies. Fueling her fire. And that person? They're still around you. Watching. Listening. Smiling. They never left. They blended back in when she got exposed. Quietly. Cleverly. Cowardly. They pretended to support you. They even checked in, acted concerned. But behind your back, they've been gathering pieces. Trying to continue what she started. Except this time, it's darker, more silent, more calculated. You may have felt it lately. That strange energy again. That uneasy stillness. The dreams. The unexpected triggers. The way certain people suddenly feel off. That's not your imagination. That's your intuition warning you. Because when karma hits one puppet, the puppeteer gets desperate. And now, you're on their radar. But here's the difference, you're not who you were before. You've grown. You've healed. You've armored your spirit with experience. And this time, you're not walking in blindly. You're walking in aware. They think you're still soft. They think your peace is weakness. They think they can use the same old tricks. But they've forgotten. You already walked through fire once, and you came out flameproof. They knew you'd be distracted by her downfall. They wanted that. Because while everyone was watching her crumble, this other person was getting closer. Not with rage. Not with noise. But with strategy. They've been watching your moves. Tracking your peace. Smiling when you smile, but taking notes when you cry. This hidden one never raised their voice. Never showed their hand. But their intentions have always been dangerous. They played both sides. 1 minute, checking on you. Next minute, reporting back to her. Yes, before she fell, they were her informant. Feeding her everything you did. Every step. Every shift. Every breakthrough. Now that she's gone, they feel exposed. But instead of backing off, they've gone silent and darker. They're not attacking you out loud. They're planting thoughts. Making others doubt you. Question your truth, quietly. They whisper where no one can hear. They sow division in rooms you're not in. And they smile to your face while slicing your name behind your back. You trusted them once. And that's what makes this sting worse. Because this isn't a stranger. It's someone with your photos in their phone. Someone who sat at your table. Someone who said, "I got you." But they never had you. They had a version of you they could use. And now that you've become stronger, wiser, untouchable, they see you as a threat. You might be wondering, why do they hate me when I've done nothing but grow? Because people who haven't healed envy those who have. They don't want your peace. They want the version of you that was easier to control. And since they can't reach that version anymore, they'll try to ruin the one you've become. But they won't succeed. Because this time, the universe has you on alert. There's a shift happening. You can feel it. That old familiar tension, creeping back in shadows. But unlike before, this time you're ready. Not just spiritually, but mentally, emotionally, and intuitively. You don't need to expose them. You just need to outgrow them. And that's exactly what's already happening. The more they try to throw confusion, the clearer your path becomes. The more they try to twist your name, the more truth clings to you. Because you're no longer in survival mode. You're in revelation mode. Everything hidden is coming to light. Their smile is fake. Their concern is rehearsed. Their loyalty is conditional. And soon, just like her, they too will be exposed. Not by force. Not by drama. But by their own actions falling apart. They can't fake loyalty forever. The cracks are already forming. You might not know exactly who it is yet. But stay calm. Because their own patterns will reveal them. Watch how they flinch when you speak truth. Notice who suddenly distances themselves when you elevate. Pay attention to who stays silent when you're attacked. Because silence is a confession. And energy never lies. This is your next test. Not to react, but to recognize. To observe. To detach. To rise above. You don't need to fight them. They're already falling. They just don't know it yet. They're starting to panic now. Not outwardly, but within. Because you haven't confronted them, and that silence is killing them. They expected drama. They wanted to bait you into chaos. But you gave them nothing, only distance. And that distance is exposing their fear. They're checking your every move. Watching your stories, reading between your lines, asking about you indirectly. But the more they look, the more frustrated they become. Because you're glowing. Unbothered. Moving like royalty. Untouchable. And to them, that's infuriating. They're trying new tactics now. Spreading confusion in soft whispers. Asking others subtle questions like, have they changed? Do you think they're being real? Not to get answers. But to plant doubt. This is not gossip, it's warfare disguised as curiosity. But the truth has already shifted in your favor. Because light always reveals what shadows try to hide. The same people they try to confuse are slowly waking up. Noticing the pattern. Realizing who's playing behind the scenes. And you don't even have to lift a finger. The universe is doing it for you. Soon, that mask they wear will fall. Because masks are hard to hold when you're sweating in guilt. Their charm is cracking. Their words no longer land. Their influence is fading. They still walk around like they're in control. But inside, they're crumbling. Because nothing haunts a manipulator more than being seen clearly. And you see them now. Fully. You've connected the dots. You've caught the tone in their voice. You've recognized the way your spirit shifts when they enter the room. Your body knows. Your energy knows. Your intuition knows. So you're not reacting. You're retreating. You're reclaiming your space. You're removing your energy from places that were draining you. And that, my friend, is checkmate. Because people like them don't know how to survive without a reaction. And you're starving them of attention. Let them spiral. Let them chase shadows. Let them tell stories no one believes anymore. Because their chapter in your life is over. Now begins a new one. A season where truth doesn't need permission. Where your peace is your sword. Where your glow is your justice. Soon, the final betrayal will come to light. It will shock others. But not you. You already knew. You just waited patiently for proof. And now, that proof is almost here.